Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet.
Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A Funny Friday with episodes of Jack Benny, Joan Davis Time, Father Knows Best starring Robert Young. We'll also have George and Gracie around, and an episode of Claudia. That's all happening on this Friday. This is the 24th day of January, 341 days till we get to 2026. Mississippi College, founded on this date in 1826, the first college in that southern state. James W. Marshall found gold at Sutter's Mill near Sacramento, California on this date in 1848, the beginnings of the gold rush. Robert Baden-Powell began the Boy Scout movement on this date in 1908, and in 1927, director Alfred Hitchcock released his first film, The Pleasure Garden, in England. President Roosevelt and Prime Minister Churchill concluded a conference in Casablanca on this date in 1943. In 1972, Japanese Sergeant Soshiki Yokoi found hiding in a Guam jungle where he had been hiding since 1944 when U.S. forces liberated the island during World War II. The first Apple Macintosh went on sale on this date in 1984, and in 1986, Voyager 2 passed within 50,000 miles of Uranus. Don't go there.
It is very likely that there will be not be another mission to Uranus for a couple centuries. And so this is it. This will be in the history books. This will be in the encyclopedias for the next couple hundred years.
NASA spokesman on Voyager 2 passing near that huge planet. That sounds like a body part to some people, and aren't you ashamed of yourself? 1989, mass murderer Ted Bundy was executed in the electric chair at Rayford Prison in Stark, Florida.
Well-meaning, decent people will condemn behavior of a Ted Bundy while they're walking past a magazine rack full of the very kinds of things that send young kids down the road to be Ted Bundys. That's the irony.
Bundy received 2 death sentences for 3 murders in Florida, the exact number thought to be more than 30. In 1998, Pope John Paul II visited Cuba.
The Pope and Fidel Castro now on the platform as the Pope greets the crowd, waving with his right hand, the crowd in turn waving Cuban and Vatican flags.
Reporter Jim Hickey. In 2003, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security officially began operations.
The law creating the United States Department of Homeland Security comes into effect. And now this department has its first secretary, Thomas Joseph Ridge.
President George W. Bush. In 2006, Disney agreed to purchase Pixar in an all-cash deal, making Steve Jobs the largest shareholder in Disney.
Making great content is the most important thing we can do as a company, and making great feature animation is incredibly important. If you look at the history of the company, during the periods of time that we have been at the top of our game in feature animation, the company has really flourished.
In 2011, Jared Lee Lochner pled not guilty in Phoenix to federal charges he'd tried to kill Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords and 2 of her aides in a Tucson shooting rampage that had claimed 6 lives. In 2018, former Dr. Larry Nassar sentenced to 175 years in prison after being found guilty of using his position to sexually assault female gymnasts. Passing away on this date in history, Prime Minister Winston Churchill.
Sir Winston, with Franklin Roosevelt, gave us our finest hour. He was not afraid of blood or sweat or tears.
Politician and diplomat Adlai Stevenson's thoughts on Winston Churchill. Also passing away on this date in history, Vladimir Lenin, J. Carroll Nash, we probably remember him most as from the show Life with Luigi. Larry Fine of the Three Stooges. Film director George Cukor. The founder of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard. Actor-singer Gordon McRae, the Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall, and actor Pernell Roberts. Born on this date, Ernest Borgnine. He had a tremendous movie career. Biggest hit was one Marty, but probably best remembered for many is McHale in McHale's Navy. Also evangelist Oral Roberts, musician Warren Zevon, actor John Belushi, and former ECW champion wrestler Mike Awesome, all born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
The Cajun fiddler Doug Kershaw, 89 years old today. Still making music at 86 is Ray Stevens.
1970.
Everything is beautiful in its own way. Like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way.
That was 55 years ago. That was a huge hit back in 1970. And Ray Stevens still making music today. Are they the big hits? No, they're not. But they're still great music. It still is. Ray Stevens, 86 today. 84 years old today for Neil Diamond.
1969.
Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe there never was, but now
His biggest hit ever, Sweet Caroline. Battling Parkinson's disease, Neil Diamond, 84 years old. Also turning 84 today, another great singer, Aaron Neville.
1966.
Tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed. Let your conscience be your guide. But I know deep down inside of me.
Neville retired from touring about 4 years ago, citing that he's not really health concerned, but, he's got asthma. He's concerned about COVID and all of those respiratory illnesses that are floating around. So he still stays active. He's enjoying his family life at 84 years old today. Aaron Neville. Comedian Yakov Smirnoff is 74. The Russian comic has done so many great one-liners like, I like parades without missiles in them. I'll take Bullwinkle to a tank any day. In every country, they make fun of cities. In U.S., you make fun of Cleveland. In Russia, we make fun of Cleveland. Why don't they have baseball in Soviet Union? In Soviet Union, no one is safe. And here you have American Express card. Don't leave home without it. In Russia, we have Russian Express card. Don't leave home. Yakov Smirnoff, 74 today. Actress Nastasia Kinski is 64. Gymnast Mary Lou Retton, that little bitty thing, 57 years old. From The Last Man on Earth, comedian Kristen Schaal is 47. From The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, actress Tatiana Ali is 46. And from The OC, Misha Barton is 39. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 24th day of January as their birthday. And if this happens to be your birthday...
We baked you a birthday cake. If you get a tummy ache and you moan and groan and woe, don't forget we told you so. Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Make a wish, dear, and blow out the candles.
Here they go.
We'll get started on this Friday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with the 1954 episode of Jack Benny. That's next.
Instead of going down, the annual rate of polio cases in this country is going up. Instead of growing panicky with fear in the face of such an unwelcome fact, there is a way in which we all can join the Army, which is fighting to check this trend and ultimately defeat infantile paralysis. We can contribute to the March of Dimes. Give today so that the 1952 March of Dimes will be the biggest ever and a really potent fighting force against polio.
One of America's most successful vaccination campaigns, eliminating the threat of polio. And if all the testing it went through, and it was rigorous, and it was years and years and years, God love them, they made it happen, didn't they? 71 years ago today, January 24th, 1954, let's see what's going on with Jack Benny.
The Jack Benny Program, transcribed and presented by Lucky Strike.
Lucky's taste better,
cleaner, fresher, smoother.
Lucky's taste better,
cleaner, fresher, smoother. For Lucky Strike meats, fine tobacco, richer tasting, fine tobacco.
Lucky's taste better,
cleaner, fresher, smoother. Lucky Strike, Lucky Strike.
This is Don Wilson, friends. Let's take a good close look at the subject of why you smoke cigarettes. Think it over a minute, and you'll agree that the main reason, and probably the only reason you smoke, is simply that you enjoy it. You like the taste of a cigarette. Sure, smoking enjoyment is all a matter of taste. And the fact of the matter is, Lucky's taste better. Lucky's taste better, cleaner, fresher, smoother, for two very important reasons. One is, LSMFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. The tobacco in Lucky's is fine, naturally mild, good tasting. Another reason for this better taste is that Lucky's are actually made better, made round and firm and fully packed to draw freely and smoke evenly. Fine tobacco in a better made cigarette gives you better taste every single time. So if you go along with me that smoking enjoyment is all a matter of taste, then be happy, go Lucky, because the fact of the matter is, Lucky's taste better. Get a carton of Lucky Strike and see for yourself.
Be happy, go Lucky, get better taste today.
The Lucky Strike Program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Rochester, Dennis Day, Bob Crosby, the Sportsman Quartet, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, many times in the past I've opened this program by taking you out to Jack Benny's house in Beverly Hills. But tonight, just for a change, let's all go out to Mr. and Mrs. Bob Crosby's house on the edge of Beverly Hills.
Many times I have wanted your kiss. Many times.
Oh, Bob.
Yes, June?
You've been in the den here for an hour. What are you doing?
Oh, just rehearsing some songs, dear. I'm thinking of making another personal appearance.
Personal appearance? Where?
Las Vegas.
Oh, Bob, I wish you wouldn't. You remember what happened last time we were up there. You gambled every night and lost quite heavily.
Oh, I know.
Well, don't do it again. I miss the baby. But really, Bob, I'm serious. I wish you wouldn't play another personal appearance.
Well, why not, dear?
Well, you're so busy. You're on Mr. Benny's show every week. You play benefits. You make records. And you have your own TV show 5 days a week. You're never home anymore.
Oh, June, you're exaggerating.
Oh, Mother.
Yes, dear?
Can I go to the park and play ball?
Certainly.
Okay, I'll be back in time for dinner. Say, Mom.
Yes, dear?
Who's this guy, the plumber?
He's your father.
Well, certainly I'm your father. Don't you recognize me, Chris?
I'm Steve.
Oh?
You run along, Steve, and be home in time for dinner.
I will. Goodbye, Mother. Goodbye, Dad.
Goodbye. Gosh, he's growing. Honey, I could have sworn he was Chris. Gosh, June, I've been thinking about what you said, though, and I think I'm going to forget about personal appearances and spend more time at home.
Oh, Bob, I wish you would.
I will, and not only that, I think, why don't we have a dinner party here at home like we used to?
Oh, that would be wonderful. How about next Saturday night?
That's fine. I'll invite all the boys in my band and their wives, and you know what, June? I think we ought to invite Jack Benny, too.
You do?
Why, certainly.
Oh, but Bob, he's such an important man, and he's so busy. You can't call and invite him to dinner on such short notice.
Well, I'm going to try anyway.
Bob, I think you're making a big mistake.
Now, don't you worry, June. I've got an idea. Look, we'll change the date of our dinner to fit Jack's convenience.
Hello?
Hello, Jack. This is Bob Crosby.
Oh, hello, Bob.
Say, Jack, June and I would like to invite you to our house for dinner, and, well, when would it be possible for you to come?
Oh, 7 o'clock, 7:15. 7:30. In fact, I can be over right now.
Well, we weren't thinking of tonight. We were thinking of some night this week. Which would be the most convenient?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Well, you skipped Thursday.
Oh, I babysit that night.
Oh.
I used to do it for you, but you lost your kid in Las Vegas.
I know. But, Jack, how about coming over for dinner Saturday night?
Oh, fine, Bob, fine. Say, and after dinner we can have some fun, play gin or Scrabble.
Oh, no, thank you, Jack. I'll never play Scrabble with you again after last Sunday's game. You're too tricky for me. I don't know how in the world you do it.
Do what?
Well, there are only 2 Y's in the game, and yet you made the word money 11 times.
Well, all right, we'll play something else. So long. See you Saturday.
So long, Jack.
Goodbye, Bob. Gee, it was nice of Bob to invite me over to his house for dinner. He's always doing things like that. Having people over for dinner, taking them out to nightclubs, having parties. He's so generous. He ought to see a psychiatrist. Well, when Rochester comes home for shopping, I better tell him I won't be home for dinner Saturday night. Gee, he's been at that market a long time. Coming. Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Come on in.
Thanks.
I wasn't expecting you today, Dennis. Anything wrong?
No, I just wanted to ask you a favor. Could you lend me $10?
$10? Yes, I guess so. What do you want it for?
I want to get myself tattooed.
Tattooed? Why?
Well, I was in the Navy during the war, and yet nobody will believe I was a sailor.
Well, what are you going to have tattooed on you?
My uniform.
Well, that's about the... Look, kid, if you want something tattooed on you to show that you were in the Navy, why don't you have a life preserver or an anchor? Or wait a minute, how about the battleship Missouri?
No, my mother has that.
Your mother has a battleship tattooed on her?
When she wears a corset, it looks like it's sinking.
Hey, say, wait a minute, kid, I've got a good idea. Why don't you do what I did when I was in the Navy? Have the American flag put on your arm.
Gee, I didn't know you had the American flag on you.
Yeah, I had it done the first day I joined the Navy. Wait, I'll roll up my sleeve and show it to you. See?
Gee, only 13 stars.
Yes, Dennis, only 13 stars, but not for the reason you think. I made the man stop because he was hurting me.
Then why did he put them in a circle?
Dennis, I don't want to get into any more discussions with you. Now, I'll make you a proposition.
Yeah, what?
If I lend you the $10, will you let me hear the song you're going to do on next Sunday's program and leave immediately?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here's the $10. What song are you going to sing?
My brand new RCA Victor recording of Hey Brother, Pour the Wine.
Okay, let's hear it.
Here we sit enjoying the shade.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
Drink the drink that I have made.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
Tell you why the day is sunny. I'm in love with lips of honey. Wait till you see the way she walks.
Hey, brother, pour the wine. La 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 la.
She is coming here to stay.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
I have waited for this day.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
She writes of love in every letter. Others have tried, but I will get her. Wait till you see the way she walks.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
What is life? What is spring? What are all the stars that shine? Love, my friend, is everything, and love will soon be mine. Pour it as quickly as you can.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
Pour it quickly once again.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
She's here at last, my one and only. Goodbye, friends, don't be lonely. Wait till you see the way she walks.
Hey, brother, pour the wine. La 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 la.
Blink your eyes and love has passed. Hey, brother, pour the wine. Hers was never meant to last. Hey, brother, pour the wine. She introduced me to another. No, my friends, he's not her brother. I will miss the way she walks.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
Pour it as quickly as you can.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
Pour it quickly once again.
Hey, brother, pour the wine. Pour the wine. Pour the wine.
Hey, brother!
That's a wonderful song you recorded. Should sound swell on the program.
Oh,
now
thanks.
go get yourself tattooed.
Okay, Mr. Benny. You know what I think I'll do? I'll have them
Dennis,
tattoo.
Look, you promised me if I lent you the $10, you wouldn't say anything. You just go.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then go.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye. You know, Dennis gets sillier and sillier every day. I don't know how I've stood him all these years. But it's my own fault. I should have known when I first saw him there was something wrong with him. What other man wears a size 3 hat? I don't know, sometimes I think...
Mr. Benny, I'm back from the market.
Good.
I'm in the kitchen putting the things away.
I'll come in and help you. Hey, what took you so long, Rochester?
Well, I had a lot of things to do. You know, I took all the hamburger out of the freezer, sold it, and bought 36 quarts of milk.
Why'd you do that?
Beef went up, milk went down. I'm playing the market.
Say, Rochester, what's this?
A head of lettuce.
How can this be lettuce? It's pure white.
The fat is over. They're taking chlorophyll out of everything.
Oh.
By the way, Mr. Benny, are you going out tonight?
No, I think I'll stay home and practice my violin.
Your violin? Oh, boss, calm now.
All right. I'll wait till you get out of the house. Meanwhile, I'm going in the den and read for a while.
Okay.
Gee, I haven't read a book in a long time. Let's see what's here. Vaudeville by Joe Laurie, Jr. Look Who's Abroad Now by Earl Wilson. Hey, here's a book I haven't read. 100 Famous Poems. Gee, I haven't read poetry in a long time. I think I'll read this. Let's see. Gee, they have some wonderful poems in this book. Charge of the Light Brigade, Hiawatha, The Wreck of the Hesperus, Gunga Din, There was an old lady from... Whoops, somebody penciled that in. Oh, here's one of my favorite poems. I haven't read it in years. The Shooting of Dan McGrew. I think I'll read that. The Shooting of Dan McGrew by Robert W. Service.
A bunch of the boys were whooping it up in the Malamute Saloon. The kid that handles the music box was hitting a jag time tune.
Hey, bartender. Bartender. Bartender.
Yeah?
I want a drink of whiskey.
Okay, how much whiskey do you want?
About 3 fingers.
Here you are.
Give me another drink.
How much this time?
Oh, about 4 fingers.
Okay. There you are. 4 fingers of whiskey. You know, mister, you're the first man I ever saw drink out of a glove.
I always do. I'm the only man in Alaska that got a hangnail with a hangover. Doggone, I've been trapped in this saloon for 8 days by that darn blizzard. How much longer do you think it'll last?
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to take a look outside and see how the weather is.
How is it outside?
Cloudy. Look, bartender, being stuck in a place like this for 8 days can drive a guy nuts. I gotta have a little excitement. Tell you what, I'll bet you $5 I can shoot those 3 glasses off the top shelf in 3 shots.
$5 says you can't.
It's a bet. Stand back, everybody. There's 1. There's 2.
You lost.
No, I didn't.
I've got $20 more that says you did.
It's a bet. That slow bullet has made me a fortune. Anybody else want to bet? Hey, you at the piano. Don't you know any other music?
Nah, he's ignorant. But those 4 fur trappers in the corner...
You must have had 5 fingers yourself.
I say those 4 fur trappers in the corner, they can sing some songs.
Well, let's hear some.
Okay, take it, fellas.
Alouette, jante, alouette, alouette, jante plumerie. Alouette, light a cigarette, Lucky Strike, je sais que bon gelé.
Jette de plumerie la tête, light a lucky alouette.
Jette de plumerie la tête, light a lucky alouette.
Alouette,
Alouette,
cigarette,
cigarette. Alouette, puff a cigarette, made of fine tobacco, ooh la la. Alouette, gentle alouette, wrote a letter to her dear papa.
Here is what the letter say. Send more luckies right away.
Son of a gun, but Eskimos, they smoke luckies too, you know.
Eskimo.
Eskimo.
Smoke, you know.
Smoke, you know.
Alouette.
Alouette.
Cigarette.
Cigarette.
Zeolite.
Zeolite.
Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike. Alouette, puff a cigarette. She is just as happy as can be. We are luckies made of fine tobacco. LSMF, LSMFT.
Living mid the ice and snow, we're so very glad to know.
She's as happy as can be. We said LSMFT.
MFT.
MFT.
We agree.
We agree.
Eskimo.
Eskimo.
Smoke, you know.
Smoke, you know.
Alouette.
Alouette.
Cigarette.
Cigarette.
Zeolite.
Zeolite.
Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike. Alouette.
puff a cigarette, through the long and lonesome Arctic nights. In the north, so many light and luckies, that's what makes the northern lights.
Well, how'd you like the song?
That was Say, See Good.
Hey, look, mister, the blizzard is letting up.
Yeah, well, I think I'll get going. Where's my partner? Hey, Wilson. Wilson.
Here I am.
Come on, we're going up north to find gold. Gold, do you hear me? Gold.
Just a minute, partner. Don't risk your life out there in these icy wastes looking for gold. What is gold? Can't eat it? Can you drink it? Gold's only money. The money will only bring you unhappiness, misery, and sorrow.
Would you mind repeating that?
Money will only bring you unhappiness, misery, and sorrow.
This boy is not only fat, but he's stupid. Now, come on, let's get the dogs ready and the sled. We're going.
Were you ever out in the great alone when the moon was awful clear and the icy mountains hemmed you in with a silence you could hear, with only the howl of a timber wolf, and you camped there in the cold, a half-dead thing in a stark dead world, clean mad for the muck called gold?
We're going mighty slow, Wilson, and it's all your fault. I took you on as a partner because I was a greenhorn. You told me you knew everything about the Yukon. You told me you knew how to handle these dog teams and sleds.
Of course I do. What makes you think I don't?
Well, I have a feeling the dogs should be pulling the sleds and we should be riding. I'm sure of it. And that cocker spaniel with the whip is murder. That dog yells mush at me once more, there's going to be trouble.
Gee, I can't stand this no more. 3 weeks we've been traveling through these frozen wastes.
Hey, look, wait a minute. Comes a man. An Eskimo.
Oh, yeah. I'll go and talk to him.
Won't do any good. These Eskimos don't talk in English.
I know, but I talk Eskimo. I'll say hello to him. Hey, compare!
That's Eskimo?
Look, he's coming toward us, and he's carrying food.
Yeah, maybe he'll give us some blubber. I mean, maybe he'll give us some blubber. Hey, he wants to talk to us.
Oogie oogie, wah wah, magahoo, magahi.
What'd he say? What'd he say?
He says his name, he's a mighty hunter, and he's chief of an Eskimo tribe.
Oh. Ask him if he'll be our guide and lead us to the gold.
Mugla, Mugliuka, Takara, Iglu. Marabu, Ugi, Gloob, Nagikuch, Tiga.
Three of my riders must come from Bismo Beach or something.
Nuggy nuggy talking.
He says he can't be our guide. He's got something else to do.
Ask him what?
Ugi Tula Nagarari?
Takalugi mugi papoose nanga wawa.
What'd he say?
He's got to go to Las Vegas and pick up his kid.
Well, let's go on by ourselves. Goodbye, Eskimo.
Goodbye, and don't forget dinner Saturday night.
I won't. Come on, let's go.
Mush!
I'm pulling it! I'm pulling it! Wait a minute, Wilson, look. Look at the side of that mountain. We found it, a vein of pure gold. Do you hear me, Wilson? Look at it. Pure gold. Oh, boy, am I unhappy, miserable, and sorry. Come on, Wilson. Let's dig that gold and go back to the saloon.
Back of the bar in a solo game sat dangerous Dan McGrew. Now watching his luck was his light of love, the lady that's known as Lou. When out of the night, which was 50 below, and into the din and glare, there stumbled a miner fresh from the creeks, dog dirty and loaded for bear.
Okay, bartender. I struck it rich. Set up drinks for everybody.
Does that include me, handsome?
Sure does, Lou. I came right back here after finding the gold just to see you.
Well, the minute I heard you was coming, I hurried home and got into this new dress.
You must have been in a hurry. You didn't get all the way into it. But, Lou, I got presents for you now that I'm rich. I got diamonds and ermine furs, a 54 convertible, a platinum mine, jewels, and a yacht for you.
Oh, darling.
Just call me Santa Baby.
Oh, you're so wonderful. Come here, honey. Kiss me.
Well, after that kiss, I won't need my dogs or my sled anymore.
Why not?
There ain't no more snow between here and the North Pole. Give me another kiss, Lou.
Sure, honey. Oh, wait a minute. Be careful. Here comes dangerous Dan McGrew.
Lou, come here a minute.
Yes, Dan?
Didn't I see you kissing this stranger a minute ago?
Yes, you did. Hey, he sounds dangerous. What about it?
You know what I do to guys I catch kissing my gal?
What?
I cut off their heads and hang them up by their hair.
Oh.
I'll have to think of something different for you.
Oh, I ain't scared. Now listen to me, Dan McGrew. Lou is my gal, and I'm taking her with me.
Oh, no, you're not. Draw your gun.
Don't fight, boys, please.
Get out of the way, Lou. I'm ready, Dan.
Then I reached for my rod, and the lights went out, and two guns blazed in the dark. And a woman screamed, and the lights went up, and two men lay stiff and stark.
Bye, Steph.
So long, Stark.
Etched on his head and pumped full of lead was dangerous Dan McGrew, while a man from the creeks lay clutched in the arms of the lady that's known as Lou.
Jack will be back in just a minute, but first, a word from one of the world's funniest men of letters, America's comic, poet laureate, Ogden Nash.
Somebody once went through my poems and made a list of the things I dislike. It's a pretty long list, too. However, on the list of things I like, they said he likes good eating. Of course I like good eating. I like good anything, good fun, good smoking. Naturally, I smoke Luckies. To put it poetically, I hope I'm not a crank, but I've got one foible. I don't enjoy anything unless it's enjoyable. I'm pernickety about what I like, and for 30 years, I've smoked Lucky Strike.
We agree with Ogden Nash about smoking enjoyment. It's all a matter of taste. And the fact of the matter is, Lucky's taste better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. For two good reasons. First, LSMFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Second, Luckies are made better to draw freely and smoke evenly. That, too, means better taste for you. So be happy. Go Lucky. Pick up a carton and prove to yourself that Luckies taste better.
Lucky's taste better.
Cleaner, fresher, smoother. Lucky Strike, Lucky Strike.
We're a little late, so good night, folks.
The Jack Benny program is written by Sam Perrin, Milt Josephsberg, George Balzer, John Tackerberry, Al Gordon, Hal Goldman, and produced and transcribed by Hilliard Marks. The Jack Benny program is brought to you by Lucky Strike, product of the American Tobacco Company, America's leading manufacturer of cigarettes.
We're a little late, so good night, folks. 71 years ago, January 24th, 1954, Jack Benny here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up next, the very funny Joan Davis.
This is Debbie Reynolds. If you've been wondering what you can do to fight communism personally from your own home, there is something you can do. Support Radio Free Europe, the station built and financed by the contributions of the American public to the crusade for freedom. Radio Free Europe is one Cold War operation the communists fear and attack constantly. Support Radio Free Europe. Send your truth dollars to Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster.
Let's face it, Joan Davis did an awful lot of work in radio, television, and in the movies. But she never enjoyed the success that at least I think she should have. She did some good work. In fact, it's basically said her TV show, I Married Joan, that was done with Jim Backus as her husband, it did not get the rating success it should have had. What's even funnier is that the show experienced great success in syndication after she passed away. And it's just one of those things if she just didn't click. She died in 1961. She was just 48 years of age of a heart attack. But let's listen to an episode of her radio show, Joan Davis Time. This goes back 77 years, January 24th, 1948.
Operator, will you please give me the correct time?
Certainly, sir. It's Joan Davis Time.
Sure, it's Joan Davis time.
Well, there's no question about it. From coast to coast, it's Joan Davis Time. Joan Davis Time. During the time you spend with Joan Davis tonight, you'll hear the voice of her special guest, one of radio's most selective, introspective, and effective detectives, Sam Spade, plus a great supporting cast featuring Lionel Stander, Mary Jane Croft, Bob Jellison, the music of John Rarick's orchestra, the Choral Air Singing Quintet, and yours sincerely, Ben Gage. To start proceedings merrily, the Choral Air sing Jubilee.
Jubilee, come and join the Jubilee. Gather on the run, have a lot of fun, singing in the sun. Jubilee, come and join the Jubilee. Listen to the band, swinging in the land. Everybody stand and sing with a zip and zing. Watch the blues go bing, make the rafters ring up to heaven. Jubilee, carnival of joy. Mr. Bloom won't be about. Music always knocks him out. Learn a song that you can shout. Enjoy the Jubilee.
Now it's time to meet the star of our show, America's Queen of Comedy, Joan Davis.
Thank you, and hi, everybody.
Hiya, Joni. Well, friends, despite her seeming enthusiasm, Joan Davis is somewhat depressed today.
Yeah, I'm depressed today, and tomorrow, too.
Yes, she's depressed and despondent because there's no romance in her life.
There's no romance in my life. There's no life in my romance, either.
In fact, Joni was so worried about this that last week she wrote to Dorothy Dix and said she was interested in getting married. And Joan also included a picture of herself. Didn't you, Joni?
Yeah, and you know what happened? Dorothy Dix returned my picture, and on the back of it she wrote, "Please be more specific. You want a husband or wife?" See, you know, I I just can't figure out why men never propose to me. They say that in order to get married, a woman has to have beauty, wealth, and looks. Well, I have a brain. And it's the little things that count. Well, anyway, today, shortly after I entered the tea room, my manager, Lionel, said...
What's the matter, boss? You look worried.
I am worried.
I bet I know what's bothering you. Fellas.
Well, that's part of it, Lionel.
I don't know what you're complaining about. Didn't you have a date last week and go to the movies with that Herbie Krausmeyer?
Sure, and I thought he was going to get romantic, too. Before we went to the movie, he put his head on my shoulder and whispered in my ear.
What did he say?
He said, I'll wrestle you for the price of the tickets. It was so embarrassing.
Embarrassing?
Yeah, I beat him 2 straight falls. And that's the way it is, Lionel. I go out with fellas, but, well, they never seem to really get interested in me.
Boss, the trouble with you is that you don't make yourself glamorous.
Glamorous? Mm-hmm. I don't even know what glamour is. Ha ha! What a funny one.
Listen, I'll tell you that.
Glamour is an air of mystery, of untold experiences. To be glamorous, a woman must be mysterious. You gotta look like you've lived.
Well, I've lived.
I mean recently. In order to be glamorous, a girl has to act, dress, and look different. Now, if you was to dress alluringly and hint at things in your past, why, men would throw themselves at your feet.
Well, that'd be dangerous.
Dangerous?
Sure, with my bow legs, they'd go right on through.
Oh, now, hold it. Wait a minute, boss. You ain't so bow-legged.
Are you kidding? In a bathing suit, I look like an unfinished Quonset hut.
Listen, that's just it. If you was to dress in a long, slinky black dress, you'd conceal all that. And to add glamour, you could wear a black veil and some fragrant perfume and walk around with a faraway look in your eyes, as if you were thinking of Paris.
Couldn't I think of Chicago? The fellow I know there owes me $10.
Look, Johnny, take my advice. Just get yourself one of those slinky black outfits and try it on your next date.
Well, gee, that's tonight. Freddie Hartzfelder is coming over, and I don't
Listen, you still got time to go over to Heyman's department store and buy this stuff.
But honest, Lionel, I wasn't cut out to be a mystery woman.
Sure you are. Anybody can be mysterious and have glamour. Come on, try it just once. Like if I was your date.
Well, okay. Frederick, I love you madly. Won't you come with me to the Casbah?
Come with you to the Casbah. That's Charles Boyer.
That's all right. He can come, too. Well, I'm off to Clamor for some glamour. Excuse me, miss. I'd like to see something in a long black dress.
Certainly. Is it for you?
Certainly it's for me. What style would look good on a girl about 25?
Oh, I thought you wanted it for yourself.
Well, I do. Now, what can you show me that'll make me mysterious?
Well, we have this little number here. It's strapless, backless, midless, and sideless.
I want to be mysterious, not run out of town.
Well, if you're looking to catch yourself a man and get married, this is it, honey.
But that's so long. I don't like my dresses dragging on the floor.
Well, this doesn't drag on the floor. It's only 4 inches below the knee.
With me, that's the floor. But I'll take it. Now, what kind of perfume do you have?
Oh, we got all kinds of perfume. Wood, Hold Me in the Moonlight, Surrender, My Sin.
What have you got for a beginner?
Well, here's one called Thrill Me. My sister wore it out on a date.
Did it work?
It must have. That was a month ago, and she ain't back yet.
Well, I'll take some of that.
How much?
About 2 weeks' worth. So, and now I think I'll need some false eyelashes and fingernails.
Okay, honey. Now, will there be anything else?
Well, how about a black veil?
You really think you need a black veil? It's been pretty foggy lately.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
Well, let me see your face. You know, I think you're right. The fog ain't thick enough.
Oh, fine. Now, let's see. Have I got everything?
Well, let's see. You got pads for your hips, pads for your shoulders, false hair, false eyelashes, false fingernails. That ought to get you a husband.
Yeah, I can just hear the minister at the wedding. I now pronounce you man and stuff.
Boss, you look terrific. Sensational. The black dress, the veil, them false eyelashes.
See, Lionel, I hope this works when Freddie Hartzfelder gets here.
Oh, sure it'll work, boss. But remember, you gotta make Freddie think you're a woman who's lived. Wear a mysterious French look on your face. You know, get your eyes half closed and let your lower lip sag. Like Chevalier.
Let my lower lip sag? How's this?
A little more. Just a little more. A little teensy-weensy bit more.
If it sags anymore, I'll have a red scarf to go with my outfit. Oh, gee.
Oh, hey, that must be Freddie.
Yeah, you'd better go back in the kitchen, Lionel.
Okay. Good luck, boss.
Hello, Frederick.
Hiya, Joni. Hey, what's the idea of the veil? Are you Mrs. Hush?
No. Do you like me this way?
Gee, I can't see your face. Yeah, I like you that way.
I'm glad. Terribly, utterly glad.
Oh, well, let's get started for the movies, Joni. There's a swell picture at the Bijou.
No, wait. Freddie, I simply must talk to you.
Okay.
Freddie, come closer. Now tell me.
Yeah?
Would you come with me to the Casbah?
What's playing there?
Freddie, there are certain things that, well, I've kept them from you.
What things?
Look into these eyes, Freddie. Tell me, don't you see trouble?
I'll say you got your false eyelashes on upside down.
No, you think of me as Joan Davis, the sweet, innocent girl that runs a tea room. But I'm not. Freddie, I'm a member of an international spy ring. I have no name. I'm known as number 6,999.
6,999?
Yes, but you can call me Six.
Oh, come on, Joni. You ain't no spy. How can you get mixed up with international thieves and gangsters? You don't have the family background for it.
Well, why not? My father was a used car salesman. Oh, how well I can remember my first job as a spy. Stealing plans and then running away through the countryside of southern France in a long limousine.
I don't believe it.
Well, maybe it was northern France in a short limousine.
I don't believe it.
New York in a cab with a midget?
Still don't believe it.
All right, so it was Glendale with Honest John demonstrating a used motorcycle.
Just like I thought. You've been feeding me a lot of baloney.
Please, can't you see the past is very painful to me? I know you want to marry me and try to make me respectable again, but, well, I won't let you waste your life. Go, Freddie. Leave while there is still time. What do you like that? He went.
Hey, look. What happened?
Well, it didn't work, Lionel. I lost Freddie. He's gone.
Oh, gee, boss, I'm sorry. I never thought my suggestion would work out that way.
Oh, what's the difference, Lionel? Things never seem to work out right for me anyway. And as far as Freddie's concerned, you know what they say. 'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Who says that?
The Reno Chamber of Commerce.
Tony's glamour costume is a failure, we're afraid. It doesn't seem she's meant to be an alluring, mysterious maid. But mystery still will beckon. There'll be lots of fun, we reckon, when our Joni gets involved with that super sleuth, Sam Spade. But in the meantime, lend an ear to this. Each morning a missionary advertised with me on time. He tells the native population that civilization is fine.
Country educated savages holler from a bamboo tree.
That civilization is the thing for me to see. But bungo, 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 I don't want to leave the tango. No, 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 no. Bingo, bango, bungo, I'm so happy in the jungle, I refuse to go. Don't want no bright lights, false seats, doorbells, landlord. I make it clear that no matter how you coax me, I'll stay right here. They have things like the atom bomb, so I think I'll stay where I am. Civilization, I'll stay right here.
Well, friends, so far Joan Davis's attempts to become glamorous have proven futile. Tonight, despite her newly acquired slinky black gown, her exotic silken veil, and her mysterious perfume, she sits at home alone. Instead of an ardent admirer listening to her precious words, Joni is listening to the closing words of her favorite radio detective, Sam Spade.
And that, Effie, winds up the strange case of the murdered millionaire.
Gosh, I never thought his wife had done it, Sam. She seemed so sweet.
Yeah, she was sweet, all right, Effie, and so was the poison she put in his coffee.
Well, good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
And so concludes another chapter in the adventures of Sam Spade, brought to you every week at this time by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Listen in again next Sunday when...
Gosh, I sure love that Sam Spade program. There's always some glamorous woman with a problem who comes to him for help. Gee, wish my life was exciting like that. I wonder what it'd be like if I was one of those mysterious women. Maybe my husband was just murdered and I go to Sam Spade for help. And he falls in love with my beauty. Oh, I'm kind of tired. Gee, can you imagine me being a glamorous woman married to some rich old millionaire? Maybe even an English duke with a classy Reginald-type name. Oh, it's so sleepy. Oh, so glamorous, too. I am so sleepy. Reginald. Oh, Reginald. Reginald, my dear, I say, Reginald, you're not even listening to me.
I'm frightfully sorry, Joan. Forgive me. I say you're not sorry you married me, are you, old heifer?
Why, Reginald, what makes you say that?
Oh, I know. You seem to be cooling off towards me lately.
Cooling off?
Yes, I felt it yesterday when you tried to knife me.
Oh, how utterly silly. There's bound to be a tip in any marriage.
True. But somehow we don't seem to be so happy as when we were first married. Yet that seems like ages and ages ago. How long has it been?
2 days. Oh, well, I may as well admit it, Reggie. I am disappointed in your lying to me.
Lying to you?
Yes, when I married you, you told me you were worth $49 million. And what do I find out now? You're only worth 48.
Darling, I'll be worth more soon. After all, remember my position. I'm second in line for my father's estate.
Who's ahead of you?
My father.
Oh, shut up. It's no use, Reginald. I want to be free. You hear free?
I'll never give you up, Joe, never. Wait, here comes the butler with my nightly bowl of chili and beans.
Here you are, sir.
Thank you, Gay.
Oh, you and your chili and beans. I want a divorce.
Oh, come, Joan. Forget the divorce and have some chili and beans.
I'd rather have a divorce. You can have custody of the chili and beans.
Oh, this is delicious. I just adore chili and beans.
What do you know? The old boy's fainted.
Fainted nothing. He's dead. See? Rigor mortis is setting in.
How do you know?
He's more lively than usual. And anyway, we'll both say it was heart failure.
Whatever you say, gorgeous, but the police may suspect poison.
In that case, I'll need help. I know. I'll go see the famous private eye, Sam Spade. He'll help me because I'm glamorous and gorgeous and mysterious.
I'm a private eye. My name is Sam Spade. Thank you. Anyhow, I'm Sam Spade, license number 137596. Today, the day started off pretty badly for me. First, I was rudely awakened out of a deep sleep by my alarm clock ringing. I jumped out of bed, took a quick shower, and walked to the elevator. Then I turned around and walked back into my room. I'd forgotten to dress. After I dressed, I went to my office. When I got there, I found 3 corpses on the floor, probably clients who had been killed after being followed to my office. Luckily, it was a Tuesday, so I put them outside for the trash collector. Then I took a big slug of straight rye. I hate rye, but what could I do? There wasn't any white bread. I was just taking some butter for a chaser when my secretary, Effie, a doll, announced a client. The door opened, and there, standing framed in the doorway, was the stuff that dreams are made of. I knew it was time to put away the tin soldiers. This was for keeps. A chorus of 500 angels singing a Cole Porter torch song rang in my ears when she spoke.
Is this the office of Sam Spade, private eye?
Your name is Joan Davis. You live at 6,999 Kensington Road. Your husband just died. You want me to find you an alibi before the police get there and call it murder.
How did you know?
Well, in this business, you have to take a wild guess now and then.
You're pretty clever.
Yes, and you're beautiful. Kiss me, baby.
Why not?
What a kiss she gave me. When I released her from my embrace, I was wearing her false eyelashes, and she wore my vest with my badge pinned to it. We returned each other's property. And then I started questioning her. Tell me, baby, did you notice anybody following you to my office?
Well, I did notice a man wearing a green velvet cape, a top hat, and a red cane. He had a long black beard, checkered knickers, and carried a bowling ball under each arm.
Just another guy in a crowd, huh?
Yeah, I wouldn't have even noticed him if he hadn't had a box of eggs sticking out of his pocket.
Let's see. How did you happen to come to me?
Good housekeeping recommended you.
Well, let's get down to the case. I'll need some facts, not many, just enough to confuse me. First thing we have to prove is that you didn't have a motive. Now, tell me, did your husband have any enemies?
Just me.
Anybody hate him enough to want to see him dead?
Just me.
Are there many people who might profit from his death?
Just me.
Good. At least there's no motive.
Just me. But it's so nice of you to say so, Sammy, boy.
The way she said, Sammy, boy, sort of poured out like honey. I was about to take her in my arms again when I realized it might be safer to visit the scene of the crime. I helped her into her huge mink coat that was made from at least 70 perfect minks, all of them alive. We took a cab over to her place. She was wearing a perfume so dangerous it could only be refilled with a doctor's prescription. And as an added precaution, after it was refilled, both the prescription and the doctor had to be destroyed. Her front door was opened by a sinister-looking butler who drew her to him and kissed her warmly on her lips. Then as the butler took my coat, he pressed the cold blade of a knife against my throat and said,
Will you have tea or coffee with your lunch?
My trained detective instinct told me that this boy would bear watching. I spoke to him in my usual cold, impersonal, private eye type manner. If you don't mind, I'd like to see the body.
Yes, sir. Whom shall I tell it is calling?
Never mind. Has anybody been here yet?
Yes, a policeman.
The heat. What do you want?
He was selling tickets to the policeman's ball.
But, Gage, what did he do when he noticed my husband's body lying on the floor?
He sold him 2 tickets.
Took me out to the patio where her husband lay dead. On the table was an unfinished bowl of chili and beans. You could tell her husband had loved chili and beans because his body had a disappointed look on its face. I decided it was time to stop playing. I'd already seen what I had to know. I looked at her and I let her have it without pulling any punches. All right, baby. Why'd you kill him?
What? But how did you know? I mean, that is,
I found this letter from the insurance company in the hall. It's dated last week and addressed to you. Read it.
Dear Madam, in answer to your letter, we would like to inform you that your husband carried $84 million in life insurance payable to you as the beneficiary at the rate of $15 a week for 9,000 years.
Well, baby, there's no use kidding me any longer. At last, I found the motive.
Look, honey, Sammy boy, $84 million is a lot of dough. Forget the law. Think of me and you on the beach at Waikiki. Moonlight, tropical water. We could live, Sammy boy. The moon is low and big, Sammy boy. You feel like you can reach out and touch it, Sammy boy. Oh, you and me, Sammy boy. Sit upon my knees, Sammy boy. Oh, you and me and $84 million. And all you have to do is destroy that letter and not turn me in.
Her deep gray eyes were like flashing stars. Her red lips looked soft and appealing. I was about to say yes, but then I knew I couldn't. I was a private eye, and I had an obligation. If I let her off, I'd never again be able to look another private eye in his private eye. I clenched my jaw. Not very hard. It's very tender on account of I have to clench it so often in my line of work. And I said, no soap, sister.
You mean...
Yeah. I'm turning you in.
But they'll give me the chair. They'll... Wait a minute. What am I getting excited about? What if you do have the motive? You can't prove I killed my husband. Why, you can't even prove how he was killed.
Suddenly, I realized she was right. I didn't know how her husband was killed, nor could I prove that she did it. But then I noticed something jump from the pocket of her mink coat. I picked it up. Then I looked at her husband's body again. I exposed his midriff. There were strange welts on it, welts that hadn't bruised the flesh on the outside at all. And suddenly it came to me. I knew the whole story. I spun around to her. Okay, sister, I know how you did it.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
You knew that your husband loved chili and beans, that he ate it every night.
What about it?
I found the evidence that'll send you to the chair, baby. It came out of your coat, and here it is, a Mexican jumping bean.
So what does that prove?
It proves that you substituted for the regular kidney beans in his chili some Mexican jumping beans, and he was kicked to death from the inside.
I did it. But please, don't let me go to the chair. Please. I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
We don't want to die. Die.
What's the matter? What are you screaming about? What's the matter?
Well, gee, Lionel, I must have had a nightmare.
Yeah. I figured you might feel bad about your glamour campaign falling through, so I dropped by to ask you to go to a movie. Suddenly I heard you screeching.
Yeah, and what a terrible dream I had. Why, do you know, I actually dreamed you were married to me, and I killed you.
Thanks, boss. That was the merciful thing to do.
Oh, Lionel, gosh, even in dreams I can't be glamorous. I don't know, my life these days seems to be an empty shell. I just keep laughing on the outside and crying on the inside.
Yeah, well, cut it out, boss.
What's so funny? You can drown that way.
Joni will be back in a minute, but while she's gone, here's something well worth remembering. You hear democracy talked about a lot these days, so much that we almost forget the true meaning of the word. We know that democracy means government by the people, but what is sometimes forgotten is that all of you are the people, and America will continue to be America only if each of us rededicates himself to the meaning and practices of democracy, taking an active interest in the affairs of our community, voting regularly and thoughtfully. In short, we must recognize our responsibilities as citizens of a free nation and discharge those responsibilities to the best of our ability. Democracy is being judged in the world of today on the basis of how well we make freedom work in America. Other people in other lands will decide whether they want freedom for themselves by seeing how effectively it lives and functions in the everyday life of this country. And what they decide will affect you and your family and every man, woman, and child in America. Freedom is everybody's job in this free nation. Make sure that you make freedom your job. And now here's Joni again.
Well, I guess most of our listeners know that the radio detective Sam Spade is played by a mighty fine actor whose real name is Howard Duff. So now I'd like to thank Howard for his swell job tonight. Thanks, Howard.
Well, thank you, Joni. Being with you is more fun than a barrel of corpses.
You know, I just love that detective stuff. I had a boyfriend once who was a private eye, but he specialized in tricky disguises.
Disguises?
Yeah. One day he was standing on a street corner disguised as a mailbox.
Disguised as a mailbox? Well, what happened?
Well, he looked so real that before he knew it, a lady shoved a package down his throat and slammed his lower lip. Oh, well, enough of my lip. Good night, Sammy boy.
Good day, sweetheart.
Sweetheart? Oh, boy, goodbye now.
Joan Davis Time is produced and directed by Dick Mack and is written by Larry Marks and Arthur Stander. Howard Duff may soon be seen in the Universal International picture, The Naked City. This is CBS, where 99 million people gather every week. The Columbia Broadcasting System.
"77 years ago, January 24th, 1948, Joan Davis Time." She was funny. I mean, she really was. Okay, coming up on tomorrow's show, we'll have Crime with Big Town Suspense. One ad starring Robert Cummings. Also an episode of Dragnet starring Jack Webb. And an episode of Escape. And then on Sunday's show, comedy with my friend Irma, Edgar and Charlie, the Aldrich Family, and Dr. IQ. But coming next on Classic Radio Theater Podcast, Father Knows Best.
Your contribution of $10 or $6.95 for the budget relief package will send more relief overseas than the same money spent any other way. To help people in foreign countries with food or clothing, send your check to Non-Profit Care, New York. That's Care, New York. Send your check, your name and address, and full particulars about who's to get the package. Care will do the rest.
Comedy now with Robert Young as Father in Father Knows Best. This episode goes back 73 years, January 24th, 1952.
Transcribed.
Now listen to Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young as Father. A half-hour visit with your neighbors, the Andersons. Brought to you by Crosley, makers of pace-setting products for happier living.
Crosley automatic television. Oh, boy.
Beautiful Crosley Shelvador refrigerators, the world's most convenient.
Wonderful Crosley automatic electric ranges.
Crosley Shelvador freezers, color-style radios, and many other leading home appliances. Magnetism, according to Webster, is defined as the power to attract. For example, a hurdy-gurdy on a street corner has magnetism. A knothole in the fence of a baseball field has magnetism. So has a construction project and a wet paint sign. But in the kitchen of a certain white frame house on Maple Street, the most effective magnetism known to man is in the process of being generated. The method? Quite simple. Margaret Anderson just puts a couple of eggs and a few cups of sugar in a mixing bowl and cranks up the egg beater. The magnetic sound waves go out and the results are instantaneous. Like this.
Hi, Mommy. What are you making?
A cake.
Whose birthday is it?
Nobody's.
Well, then why are you making a cake?
Do I have to have a special reason to make a cake?
Well, no, but...
I just felt in the mood for making a cake, that's all. When I get through, you can lick the frosting out of the bowl.
No, thanks.
What?
I have to watch my figure.
Your figure?
At school today, Teddy Wilson called me chubby.
Oh, nonsense. You aren't chubby. You're just nice and round.
That's what he said. I was nice and round like a barrel.
Well, I wouldn't let it bother me. Not a bad-looking cake, even if I do say so myself.
Mommy?
Yes?
Do high heels really make your legs look slimmer?
Kathy, stop worrying about it.
Hi, Mother.
Hello, Betty.
Mother, the most wonderful thing is... What's the idea of the cake? Whose birthday is it?
It's nobody's birthday. I just took it upon myself to make a cake. I knew it was going to upset the household like this. I'd have made a rice pudding or something.
I couldn't eat that either.
What do you think, Mother?
I couldn't guess.
I analyzed Harvey Blake's handwriting, and we're compatible. Isn't that luscious?
Analyzed his handwriting?
Yes. You know that book I got through the mail? And today in class, I got one of Harvey's compositions, and I brought it home, and I just finished analyzing it. We're soulmates.
Well, if the analysis shows it, I'm sure it must be right.
Oh, but it does. My writing leans forward and his leans backwards. We're made for each other.
Sounds like true love.
Don't make fun, Mother. His writing reveals that he's the strong, silent type. Likes to keep to himself, sort of antisocial.
And that's good?
Of course. Now when we pass each other in the hall and he looks the other way, I won't feel bad. I'll know he's just hiding his true feelings.
Mommy.
Yes, dear?
When I grow up, will I weigh 300 pounds?
Kathy, are you still worrying about that?
What's the matter with Grumpy Puss?
You wouldn't understand.
Mother, what in the world?
Let's just forget about it.
I'll bet I'll look terrible in a bathing suit next summer.
What is she moaning about?
Oh, somebody happened to call her chubby, and her whole life is ruined.
Very, very pitiful. 9 years old and all washed up.
You stay out of this.
I was only...
Children.
Margaret, I'm home.
Daddy!
Hi, Father.
Well, what is the feminine faction up to now?
Hello, dear.
Margaret, I was... A cake. Who's...
It's nobody's birthday.
How did you know I was going to ask that?
I don't know. Just psychic, I guess.
Daddy!
Yes, kitten.
Do you love me?
Sure, I love you.
Will you always love me, no matter what happens?
Why, certainly. What's this all about?
She's worried about her figure.
Nobody asked you.
I don't get it.
Oh, somebody called her chubby at school, and she's making a big thing out of it.
Come here, kitten.
Yes, Daddy.
You aren't chubby. And besides, I'll always love you.
Even if I waddle when I walk?
Even if you waddle when you walk. Where's Bud?
Over at the Richardsons.
I brought home a surprise for him.
What is it, Father?
Where is it?
Come on outside and I'll show you. It's in the driveway.
Jumping creepers, a motor scooter.
Just what he wanted.
Isn't that a dandy? Complete with a bulb horn.
Jim, you aren't giving that to Bud.
I didn't get it for myself.
But he isn't ready for that.
Margaret, the boy has to...
You yourself have been dead set against it. It was only last month that you told Bud he couldn't have a motor scooter.
Well, that was last month. He's older now.
Oh, yes. He's aged in the last 30 days.
Now, Margaret.
No, Jim, I won't have it.
But wait till you hear the terrific buy I got on it. It was advertised on the office bulletin board by one of the fellows, and I grabbed it up. He wanted $30 for it, and I talked him into letting me have it for $25.
$25?
$25?
$25?
Reading from left to right, yes, yes, yes.
Think of the curtains I could buy with $25.
Think of the formal I could buy.
Think of the...
Stop it. Bud will get the scooter, and that will be that.
I won't stand for it, Jim.
Margaret, the boy's at the age where he needs to take on some responsibility.
I agree, but not a motor scooter.
You know, what tickled me about the whole deal was that Fred Hartley wanted it for his kid, and I beat him to it. Fred fancies himself as a sharp operator. He's always bragging about how he got such a wonderful buy on this and that, and, well, it just did my heart good.
Jim, don't try to sidetrack the issue.
I'm not sidetracking any issue. I'm just pointing out that whether you realize it or not, it's a wonderful buy at $25.
$25?
That's enough, girls. What do you say, Margaret?
I've already said it, and that's final.
But when the poor kid sees it and then we tell him he can't have it, he'll be heartbroken.
He won't see it. You can hide it from him tonight and then take it with you when you go to work in the morning.
Oh, but I can just see Bud's eyes light up. His radiant smile, a glow...
Stop getting dramatic, Jim. The answer is still no.
Hey, where is everybody? Anybody home?
That's him now. Hurry, girls. Run in the house and head him off.
Go on, Kathy.
Quick, Jim. Hide it.
Where?
Push it into the garage.
The garage?
Jim, you're just stalling so we'll see it.
I am not. It pushes kind of hard.
Well, release the brake or something.
I'm trying to, but I don't quite understand where the...
Jim, you did that on purpose.
I did not. It's getting dark. I can't see.
Now, I'm going to run into the house before he suspects something. Hurry, Jim.
All right.
Hi, Mom. I was just coming outside to...
Wash your hands, Bud. Dinner will be on the table in 5 minutes.
What's going on outside?
Oh, nothing exciting.
Why was everybody out there?
Bud, your father came home and we went out to greet him.
Why?
Bud, I'm in a big hurry. Please don't stand there asking questions. Get ready for dinner.
Okay, but what's going on?
Your father came home.
He always comes home.
Bud, go get washed.
Okay.
Where is he?
In the bathroom. Where'd you hide it?
In the garage. I put a piece of canvas over it.
Good.
I still think it's a dirty trick. A scooter's the one thing in the world the boy really wants. And...
Jim, we're eating right away.
Honey.
Yes?
May I make one final plea?
Go ahead.
Can't Bud have the...
No.
Final?
Final. Come on, girls. Sit down at the table.
I won't be sitting at the table tonight.
What was that, Kathy?
All I'm going to have is some lettuce.
Kathleen, take your place at the table.
I don't want to sit down.
Kathy?
Gee whiz.
Hiya, Dad.
Hello, Bud.
I know something, but I won't tell.
Kathy.
What gives? There's something fishy going on.
Daddy.
Yes, Mother?
We're waiting for you.
Coming. Father, the most wonderful thing has just happened. I just finished analyzing your handwriting.
You what?
I analyzed your handwriting. And you know what?
No, what?
You are a very distinct personality.
Is that good?
It's sensational. According to the book, your handwriting reveals that you are the domineering type. You rule your family with an iron hand and always have your way.
Betty.
Yes, Father?
Return the book and get your money back.
In what one place would you expect to find a prime minister, a glamorous movie star, a heavyweight championship contender? Why, right in your own living room. Yes, television continually brings into your home the most exciting personalities of our time. And you'll enjoy their company much more with the world's leading television set, Crosley Automatic Television. But convince yourself that Crosley automatically gives you the finest performance in all television. At your Crosley dealer, turn on a set. See how Crosley does these 5 jobs for you automatically. 1, the Crosley Automatic Power Control brings in even distant stations with amazing clearness. 2, the Crosley Picture Lock automatically gives you the steadiest picture you've seen on any set. 3, the Crosley Interference Control automatically provides the most disturbance-free picture you've ever watched. 4, Crosley's special antenna selector automatically tunes to the channel you select. 5. Crosley automatically matches picture and sound. When the picture's right, the sound's right, thanks to Crosley's exclusive unit tuner. Yes, Crosley television is 5 ways automatic to help bring you the clearest, brightest, steadiest picture in television. Crosley leads the way in performance, styling, value, and the biggest cash savings in history. So don't wait any longer to enjoy the world of wonderful television entertainment a Crosley can bring into your living room. See your Crosley dealer tomorrow.
Oh, for the dear old days when Father ruled the family domain and his every word was law. In that bygone age of glory, a man could buy his son a horse and there were no questions asked. But alas, times have changed, and so has the horse. Today, it's a motor scooter, hidden under canvas in a corner of the Andersons' garage. A burning secret which is fast scorching a hole in the willpower of the youngest Anderson. Like this.
Bud!
Huh?
Bud!
Kathy, say what you have to say.
Bud,
What do you want?
I just wanted to ask you a question.
What?
Will you get my roller skates for me?
Roller skates? What for?
You can't skate now, dear. It's bedtime.
Oh, I just want them, that's all.
Where are they?
In the garage.
Kathy,
Something wrong, Daddy?
stop that foolish talk and get up to bed.
Okay, I'm off for bed. Chug, 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 beep, beep. Chug, chug, beep.
Oh.
She's only a child, dear.
Yes, and she certainly works at it. Bud, may I see the first section of the paper?
Bud, your father is talking to you.
Father?
Yes, the one who rules his family with an iron hand.
He would like to look at the first section of the paper.
Just a second, Dad. Hanson's Hardware has an ad in here.
It won't do you any good, Bud. Christmas is over.
Oh, here's something I sure wish I had.
Yes, Bud?
We've got a garage, and it sure would be swell.
Margaret, the boy wants...
No, Jim. What is it you want, Bud?
This basketball hoop. I could put it on the garage door.
Oh.
Maybe something can be worked out one of these days.
Bud.
Yes, Dad?
The first section, please.
Oh, yeah. Here.
What in the world do you do to the paper when you read it?
Nothing. I just looked through it, that's all.
Well, it didn't get this way by itself.
What do you mean?
Look at it, all crumpled up, torn, the pages out of order, and page 2 and 3 stuck together with jam or something.
What kind of jam?
How many people read this paper anyway? By the time it gets around to me, it looks like it's going through a cat fight.
What about your homework, Bud?
I've got some.
That's what I thought. Better get up to your room and get started.
Okay.
The coast is clear, Jim.
Do you really want me to do it?
Let's not go into that again.
Well, all right. I feel like a fool calling Fred Hartley. I know he'll ask me why after all the trouble I went through.
Hello?
Fred, this is Jim. Jim Anderson from the office.
Oh, hi, Jim.
Fred, about that motor scooter I got today.
Yeah?
I know you wanted it for your boy, so I'm going to let you have it.
What's the matter? Is it falling apart?
No, it hasn't fallen apart. We've decided that we're going to wait a little longer before giving Bud a scooter.
Oh, I see.
And Fred, I'll let you have it for the same price I paid for it. $25.
$25?
That's right.
How about making it 20?
But I put out $25 cash for it.
$20.
I'll tell you what I'll do, Fred. I'll split the difference. $22.50.
No? 20.
Here we go.
What's the matter, dear?
He's starting to haggle. He doesn't want to pay my price.
Say, Father.
Betty, can't you see I'm on the phone? Just a second, Fred.
How much will he pay?
$20.
I'm sorry, Father.
Betty, please. How much did you say, Jim?
$20.
Good, I'll take it.
No, Fred, I
You
would
really
just...
ought to thank me for taking it off your hand.
But, Fred,
Bring it down to the office in the morning and I'll have the money for you.
All right, Fred, I'll see you in the morning.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Father.
Don't tell me you've analyzed my handwriting and it shows I'm a shrewd operator and I drive a hard bargain.
bring home tonight?
I don't know. He isn't home yet.
Have you had time to iron my blouse?
Not yet.
Oh, Mother.
You know where the iron is, and the cord, and the floor plug.
I haven't got time right now.
Well, I'm swamped with time. All I have to do is sprinkle these clothes, take in the rest of the clothes off the line, straighten up the living room, mend Bud's pants, and start dinner. I have a whole hour to do it in.
But, Mother...
Margaret, I'm home.
I'm in the kitchen, Jim.
Hi, Father. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Hello, honey.
Hello, dear. Bring home any more surprises tonight?
Surprises? Well, I looked at a fur coat for you.
What?
But I thought it would only lead to grief, so I left it in the store window.
Oh, that was very considerate of you, dear.
I could just picture what would happen. The fur would make the rest of your clothes look shabby.
I'd have to get a new wardrobe.
And then with the new wardrobe and coat, you'd want to be seen in the better places.
And that would call for a new car.
2 new cars.
We'd get into debt deeper and deeper.
I'd start working nights to make more money, and then due to overwork, my health would fail, and I'd lose my job. We wouldn't be able to keep our home, and Betty and Bud and you would have to go out and get work. And then finally...
Jim.
Yes, dear?
I don't know how to thank you for not buying me that fur coat.
Oh, it's nothing that any thoughtful husband wouldn't have done.
Oh, how'd you make out with Fred Hartley?
He has the scooter.
$20?
$20. It nearly broke my heart.
Jim, after all, you only lost $5.
I'm thinking about Bud.
It doesn't matter to him, dear. This whole thing has come and gone without Bud knowing anything about it.
I know, but I figured it would be one of the real big events in his life. Like the time my dad gave me my first 2-wheel bike.
Oh, I remember the day, Jim. You rode it over to my house.
That's right, I did.
And then we went riding through the park with me on the handlebars.
And to show off, I rode no hands and we plowed into a park bench.
But I didn't mind. I'll never forget how tenderly you picked me up. Then you held my hand and looked into my eyes and said,
Hey, Dad.
Hello, Bud.
Well, back to reality. I'm going out and haul in the rest of the clothes.
Say, Bud.
Yeah, Dad?
Pull up a chair.
What's the matter? Something wrong?
No. Should there be something wrong?
No. But what is?
Sit down, Bud.
Okay.
Now, this is just something between the two of us. Here.
$10?
I want you to have it.
But, Dad...
I had sort of a refund on a little deal today, and I want to split it with you. That's your half.
What's the catch?
No catch.
You mean I don't have to clean the basement for the next 12 years?
No, nothing like that.
I know. I have to keep the car washed and polished until 1953.
Bud.
Yes, Dad?
Can't I just give you $10 with no strings attached?
Oh, sure, but...
You mentioned something about wanting a basketball hoop. Now, maybe you can get a new basketball, too.
I'll sure find a place for it, Dad. Thanks a lot, but I still don't...
Hello, Daddy. I didn't know you were home already.
Hello, kitten.
What was that Bud just put in his pocket?
Nothing. I'll see you later, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, Daddy? It looked like money.
Here you go, Kathy.
A dime for me?
For you.
Besides my regular allowance?
That's right.
Gee, Daddy, you sure are. What am I supposed to do for it?
I must have a reputation for being an awful tightwad.
Oh, I didn't mean that, Daddy.
Can't I just give you some money because I want to?
Oh, thank you. You're a wonderful daddy.
Thank you.
You're the best daddy in the whole world.
Hearing you say that, Kathy, is worth all the dimes in the world.
I mean it, Daddy.
I know you do.
How much did you give Bud?
Never mind.
Kathy, open the door for me.
Oh, all right, Mommy.
This basket of clothes is heavy.
Here, let me help you.
Thank you. Kathy, why don't you go out and pick up the clothespins I dropped on the ground?
I knew I wasn't getting this dime for nothing.
Margaret, I feel a lot better. I eased my conscience with Bud.
How much did you give him?
But, Jim, you didn't have to feel obligated to him.
How much did you give him?
I know I wasn't obligated, but the whole matter straightened out, and I'm relieved.
How much did you give him?
Kathy, it's no concern of yours.
Was it about the motor scooter?
kidding. Be a good girl. Didn't I just give you a dime?
Yes.
Well?
The water pistol I want costs a quarter.
All right. Here.
Thank you.
What a shakedown.
I didn't ask you for it.
I know, but if your methods ever get around, you'll be up for investigation.
Kathy.
Yes, Mommy?
The clothespins, remember?
But I've got something real important to do, Mommy, and...
I'm going to iron my blouse now, Mother.
Not now, Betty. It's time for you to set the table.
Jumping creepers. All right. Come on, Kathy. You've got to help.
Oh, I've got to pick up those clothespins.
Who was that magician that could disappear nothing flat?
Houdini.
There went the new champ.
Hand me those dishes, will you please, Father?
Mm-hmm. Here you go.
Thanks.
Analyze any interesting handwriting lately?
Oh, that. I tried it out today on Ray Miller, but it wasn't very successful.
Poor fella can't write?
Father.
Well, you sound as if something went wrong.
It goes back to last week. Ray said he'd take me to the basketball game this Friday night.
No problem there.
Then during lunch period today, he wrote me a note.
And you analyzed his handwriting?
Yes.
And the analysis didn't work out so well?
Oh, yes, it worked.
Betty...
According to Ray's style of writing, he's romantic and extremely affectionate.
That's bad?
No, that's good.
Well...
But in the note he wrote me, he said he was taking Ann Kramer to the game.
And that could be quite a blow, especially after the way he analyzed.
Betty, can we please set the table?
Hey, Dad.
Sounds like the boy wonder is home.
Dad.
I've told Bud time and again not to stand outside and shout like that.
Dad, Mom.
Yes, Bud.
Come on out and back for a second, will you?
All right, but for goodness sakes, keep your voice down.
Come on, Margaret.
Look, Dad, how do you like it?
The motor scooter!
Isn't she a honey?
But how in the world did you...
Well, Mr. Hartley brought the scooter home for Freddie, but Freddie's mother wouldn't let him keep it. Can you imagine a thing like that?
Yes, I can imagine a thing like that.
And you know that $10 you gave me, Dad?
Don't tell me you got it for $10.
No.
Oh.
Benny Thompson made the deal, and I went 50-50 with him. Why are you all looking at me so funny?
Nothing. Continue.
Well, Mr. Hartley let Benny have the scooter for the exact amount that he paid for it.
Oh?
Just think, some knucklehead sold this keen scooter to Mr. Hartley for only $20. Who do you suppose would do a silly thing like that?
I can't imagine.
With so many makes of television on the market, how can you tell which is best? These important facts about Crosley automatic television can help you decide. You see, Crosley sets the pace with television that's 5 ways automatic. See if any other set can match these 5 leadership features. With Crosley, even distant stations automatically come in clear and strong. Locked-in picture automatically stays rock steady. Permaclear picture automatically stays virtually free of electrical disturbances. Dual built-in antenna automatically adjusts to the channel you select. And when the picture's right, the sound's right. Yes, Crosley gives you the brightest, clearest, steadiest picture you've ever watched, and does it automatically. Once you've seen and compared Crosley's outstanding performance and authentic cabinet styling, now at the biggest savings in TV history, you'll be convinced that here's the finest television, priced to make you doubly happy.
Dinner is a thing of the past at the White Frame House on Maple Street. The younger Andersons have gone their way, while Jim and Margaret, who are still at the table, sit leisurely back and enjoy a quiet second cup of coffee.
Another piece of cake, Jim?
No, thanks. You know something, Margaret? You're wonderful.
Careful, Jim. Don't lose your head.
I mean about the scooter, letting Bud keep it.
Oh.
He's really living.
Well, I guess the way everything turned out, he was meant to have it.
It'll be a wonderful experience for him. And that partnership isn't a bad idea either.
Bud needs to know a little about sharing something with somebody else. Not that he doesn't do it at home, but here it's sort of forced on him.
And as I mentioned before, you can use the added responsibility. It becomes a regular little business venture. It'll sharpen him up.
Say, Dad.
Yes, Bud?
Can I have $1 for gas?
$1 for gas?
This new gadget, Jim, doesn't run by rubber bands.
All right. Here you are.
Oh, yeah, and I'll need another $1 to get the taillight fixed.
It's broken?
It was that way when we got it, and you have to have a taillight. It's the law.
Okay, if you have to have it. Here you are. Say, just a minute.
What's the matter?
I understood that this was a partnership.
It is.
Then how about your friend Benny putting up his half?
Oh, but it doesn't work that way, Dad.
What do you mean? You each own half the scooter, don't you?
Yeah, but the half I own has the tail light and the gas tank.
My boy.
What happens when an electronic engineer teams up with an interior decorator to brighten your radio listening? Crosley color-style radios are the happy result. Engineered to bring in stations near and far without blasting or fading, these colorful beauties are outstanding for their full, rich tone quality. Crosley color-style radios come in a wide selection of color combinations and sizes. There's one just right for every room in your home. See Crosley's lovely color-style radios at your Crosley dealer tomorrow.
Join us again next week when we'll be back with Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young as Jim Anderson with Roy Bargy's orchestra. In our cast were Jean Vanderpyle as Margaret, Rhoda Williams, Ted Donaldson, and Norma Jean Nilsson. So until next week at this same time, good night and good luck from the Crosley division of the Avco Manufacturing Corporation, America's leading manufacturer of today's pace-setting refrigerators, television and radio sets, electric ranges, home freezers, and many other products for happier living. Father Knows Best was transcribed in Hollywood and written by Paul West and Dick Conway.
73 years ago, January 24th, 1952, Father Knows Best here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Support our program by going to classicradio.stream. Up next, George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Keep your guard up. That's the key slogan of the 1950 National Guard recruiting drive, and it's a slogan as timely as today's headlines. More than ever before, America stands prepared, and the National Guard must recruit approximately 220,000 men as soon as possible. By joining the National Guard, young men will have the advantage of choosing their own unit and preparing themselves for promotion by being in a job for which they are best qualified. Investigate the National Guard now. Help America to keep up its guard.
Now we go back 79 years to January 24th, 1946, for an episode of George Burns and Gracie Allen.
It's Maxwell House Coffee Time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen. With yours truly, Bill Goodwin, and the music of Meredith Willson and his orchestra. For deep down laughs and listening enjoyment is George and Gracie. And for deep down coffee drinking enjoyment, it's Maxwell House. With extra flavor in the blend because of choice Latin American coffees. Skillfully combined. Extra flavor in the cup because Radiant Roast develops the full flavor of every coffee bean. And the result is that today more people buy Maxwell House than any other brand of coffee in the world. Well, As we look in at the Burns home today, the atmosphere is a little tense. Gracie's just been called on the carpet by her lord and master.
Sit down, Gracie.
Yes, dear.
Now, before we start this discussion, I want to warn you that none of your tricks will work. So don't bother to flatter me, cry, or make love to me.
George, do you think that when I flatter you, cry, or make love to you, that those are tricks?
Yes. Tricks to stall off a discussion.
But you're so handsome, George. So incredibly handsome. Kiss me, volcano lips. Okay, let's start the discussion.
Okay. Now, Gracie, marriage is based upon the principles of give and take, share and share alike, compromise.
Yeah, I know, darling, and that's the way I try to live it. When I go to the movies and you want to go to sleep, we compromise. You sleep in the movies.
Yes, you're sweet that way. But the problem I want to talk to you about right now is bigger than movies.
Oh, I know what it is. You want to bawl me out for bending the fender on the car. Well, go ahead. I deserve it.
When did you bend the fender on the car?
You didn't know I did it?
No.
Oh, what a sneaking little informer I turned out to be.
We'll take care of that later. Right now, I want to talk to you about Meredith Willson.
Meredith Willson?
Yes. 4 weeks ago, you rented our den to him. And since then, he's been driving me out of my mind with those jokes of his. Gracie, he's got to go.
Oh, but George, Meredith is so sweet.
But he's such a jerk. He never says hello like an ordinary human being. He goes right into one of those broken-down jokes of his. Like, speaking of door hinges, I tell you, I can't stand it.
Oh, George, you're exaggerating.
Well, hello, folks. Meredith, did you say hello?
Yes, I did. That's what I said. Hello, I said.
I see.
Well, I guess I made a mistake.
Speaking of mistakes.
Oh, no.
I am reminded of the young
Meredith,
chap
not
who
now. Not now, Meredith.
You don't want to hear my anecdote?
No.
It's a real rib tickler.
Well, I'm not in the mood to have my ribs tickled. Don't even want them touched. Look, Meredith, do you know a nice hotel where you might get a room?
Why, it just so happens I do, George.
Good.
The manager of the Hotel Bottomley is a friend of mine.
Fine.
I can get a room there any time I want it.
Wonderful. Why don't you move in?
If I ever go back to Cincinnati, I certainly will.
Oh, it's in Cincinnati?
Yes, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Thanks. Thought it might be Cincinnati, Portugal. Or Cincinnati, Persia.
You sure have been everywhere, George.
Yeah, I traveled a lot, Meredith.
Speaking of travel...
Oh, go, Meredith.
I am reminded...
In the den, Meredith. Later with those jokes. Goodbye. Gracie, if you don't get that man out of this house by sundown, I'm leaving you.
Oh, George, don't say that. You know I couldn't live without you.
Well, that's too bad.
I love you, darling. You're my whole life. Without you, I'm just an empty shell. Just a husk who's lost her corn.
I can't help it.
Oh, please, George, say you didn't mean it. Beat me, but don't leave me.
I'm leaving.
All right, leave. But come back now and then and beat me.
Well, goodbye, Gracie. I'm not... Come in.
Hi, Burnses. What's new?
Oh, Bill, our home is breaking up.
Really? Why?
Could you stand it in the same house with a dope who does nothing but tell bad jokes?
Well, no, George, I couldn't, but Gracie loves you.
Really? Make an entrance once in a while.
Oh, I do love him, Bill. If George leaves me, I won't be able to eat. I won't be able to sleep.
Well, Gracie, you won't be able to sleep. It's George who won't be able to eat.
Look, funny man, I was talking about Meredith Willson telling jokes, not me. And unless my wife gets him out of this house, I'm leaving. Gracie, I'll be in my room packing. And you know how to stop it.
Oh, dear. Wish you hadn't teased him, Bill. George is so easily upset.
Really? As heavy as he is around the base?
Oh, Bill, be serious. Even if he doesn't leave, he might do something desperate. You know that violent temper of his?
Oh, sure.
Why, he might grab a butcher knife and run into the den while Meredith is asleep and carve "I hate you" on the wall.
Yeah, the little man's a tiger.
Yeah. Well, I'll just have to make Meredith leave. Here goes. Meredith.
Yes, Gracie?
Meredith, that is, you... Well, you see, you've just got to...
Yes, Gracie?
Meredith, don't look at me like that with those big, wet, brown eyes. Oh, they look so frightened. Like a cow who sees the farmer coming in with a milk pail and cold hands.
Well, that look isn't fright at all, Gracie. It's admiration.
Well, that's good because there's something I have... Admiration?
Gosh, yes. You know, before I moved in here with you and George, I used to think I'd never get married. But now that I've seen how wonderful a wife can be, I've changed my mind.
Well, thank you, Meredith.
Of course, I'll probably never find a wife as pretty or as smart as you are.
Oh, sure you will. Somewhere there might be one.
Why, just being in the same house with you is like having the sunshine all the time.
Gee.
But enough of this. You had something to tell me.
Well, never mind that. Let's have some more of this.
What did you say?
Let's have some more of this.
Well, no, really, Gracie, what did you come in here to tell me?
Well, I came to tell you...
Yes, Gracie?
I came to tell you that you'll have 2 extra blankets on your bed tonight.
Well, Gracie, did you tell him?
Oh, gee, I couldn't, George. I just couldn't. Did you ever see his eyes? He looks like a cow.
Well, tell him to leave a pint of half and half and get out of here.
Well, I'll try again when I get back from the market.
Oh, don't bother. I'll figure some way to get Meredith out of the den. But in the future, please remember that this is our house. And I don't want anybody in here but us.
Yes, dear. But don't do anything rough to Meredith. Boy, I've come to think of him as one of the family. It's like you're his father and I'm his sister.
Run along, sis, and do your marketing.
Here's the rest of your groceries, Mrs. Burns. Want me to carry them to the car for you?
Oh, no, thanks. I can manage. Goodbye. I'll see you.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Oh, well, why don't you look for Kay Kyser?
Hello, Gracie. Gee, I'm sorry I bumped into you. I'm just so tired I don't know where I'm going. I haven't slept a wink in 4 nights.
Oh, you poor man. You've probably been studying your music too hard.
Oh, I don't study music, Gracie. I don't have to know anything about it. I'm a leader.
Yeah, that's right. Well, what is the trouble then?
Well, my wife, Georgia, has a bunch of girls staying at the house. You know, Powers girls she used to work with. All those women do is gab. I've just got to get one night's sleep.
Well, have you tried to get a hotel room?
Yeah, that isn't easy in this town. The earliest I can get one is Monday.
Well, Monday isn't so bad.
This is Monday, August 18th.
Oh.
1948. I just got to get some sleep tonight. Say, Gracie, is there any chance that you and George might let me sleep at your house for just one?
No, I couldn't possibly let you stay at our house.
Well, I wouldn't be any trouble. I could sleep in the den.
Oh, don't even say that word.
Well, all right. Forget it. I'll find a park bench somewhere. It's just that I'll collapse if I don't get some sleep.
Hey, don't look at me like that with those big, wet, brown eyes.
Huh?
Oh, dear, another whole scene. Well, all right. you can stay at our house tonight.
Oh, bless you, Gracie. I knew a girl as sweet and pretty as you must have Southern hospitality in her heart.
Oh, thank you.
You know, down south, we don't turn any man away from our door. Why, we'd even give a dish of oatmeal to a hungry Republican. No spoon, of course.
Well, you come over tonight and you can have the couch in the den. I'd give you the bed, but Meredith Willson sleeps there.
Oh, I know Meredith. Darn good musician.
Oh, yes? You two can discuss music. Well, anyway, he can. You can just nod.
Well, I don't plan to do much discussing. All I want is sleep.
Well, whatever you want, you can have. I'll show you that we Californians know all about Southern hospitality.
Thank you.
I'll make you think you're back in the land of Robert E. Mason and Stonewall Dixon.
Well,
With the old folks strumming on their bayous and chitlin blooming in the yard.
Oh, don't go to any trouble, Gracie. All I want is sleep. Well, I'll be over about 9 o'clock. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, now I've done it. I've got Kay Kyser in the den, too. Why did I have to meet a cow who wears glasses?
Meredith Willson and his chiffon arrangement of California. Meredith, isn't that tune one of Jerome Kern's?
Yes, Bill. One of the last he composed and destined to join the parade of immortal Kern melodies.
A beautiful melody picture in praise of California, which naturally brings to mind a lot of wonderful scenes. The redwoods, orange groves, beautiful old missions, contrast of desert, mountains, and sea, all a dramatic part of our American scene. And I can't help thinking, too, how, in its way, Maxwell House coffee is an important part of the American scene, for America is a nation of coffee lovers. And Maxwell House is bought and enjoyed by more people than any other brand. For Maxwell House is so full-flavored. You see, master craftsmen choose these choice Latin American coffees. Manizales for mellowness. Medellins for richness. Other choice Latin American coffees for vigor. And Bucaramangas for full body. And then these fine coffees are so skillfully combined that the result is true harmony. Yes, the blend is so harmonious that more people just naturally say Maxwell House when buying coffee. It's dependably good to the last drop. George, what are you rigging up with all the electric wires and stuff?
I finally figured out a way to get rid of Meredith Willson. I'm wiring his bed.
George, you mean?
Yes. Wait till he hops in tonight. He'll get more shocks than the night he read Forever Amber.
You know, this seems like the hard way, though. Couldn't you just hint to Meredith that you'd like him to leave?
Hint? Bill, hinting is no good when a guy is a jerk.
Well, let me do the hitting for you.
Well, you meant that, but I'm still suspicious. Just help me rig up this booby trap before Gracie gets back.
Okay.
I'll run this wire out of the den window here, and then tonight, when Meredith's asleep, we'll give him the works.
Well, why don't you let him stay, George? Maybe you'll get to like his jokes.
Bill, I won't like his jokes if I live to be 100.
Well, you might, and that's only a couple of days to wait.
Let's get busy and wire the bed.
Okay.
Well, here I am, Gracie, and I sure am ready for some sleep.
Oh, quick, Kay, into the den. The couch is ready.
But I ought to say hello to George and thank him for his hospitality.
Oh, no. He mustn't see you.
Why not?
Why not? Why not? Oh, why not? He's not well. No, he's got something.
Oh. And if he sees me, I might catch it.
Yeah. And I'd catch it even worse. Now, quick, let's go into the den. Well, Meredith, here's our guest.
Hello, Kay. Well, hello, Meredith. Sure is nice of you to let me move in with you.
Not at all. I just hope you can stand sleeping in the same room with me. You see,
You snore?
Worse than that. I'm a Yankee.
Man, I'm so tired I could sleep with General Grant, beard and all. That couch sure does look good.
No, Kay. You take the bed. I'll take the couch.
Kay, Meredith is right. This is our chance to show you some real Southern hospitality.
Well, I'm just too tired to argue. Okay, I'll take the bed.
Oh, fine. I guess I really should serve you some Southern food before you turn in. A nice hot bowl of weevils or something.
No. I very seldom eat weevils. Really, all I want is a little sleep. I haven't slept in 4 nights, you know.
Oh, well, just as you wish. And now I'll go and fix you a mint julep.
I wish you wouldn't go to any trouble. If I could just go to sleep.
Oh, it's no trouble. This is Southern hospitality, Kay.
Oh, I had to open my big accent.
Well, I'll go get your julep while you climb into your pajamas or nightshirt or whatever you wear.
I sleep in my birthday suit.
Oh, well, put it on and zip it up. I'll go fix your julep.
Oh, I'm so sleepy, I'm not even going to take off my clothes. Good night, Meredith.
Good night, Kay.
Well, if I do say so myself, that's a lovely mint julep. I'll take it right up to Kay.
Gracie, what have you got there?
Oh, you startled me, George.
What's in the glass?
It's a mint julep.
Mint julep? Who's it for?
It's for me.
For you? Well, you've never taken a drink in your life.
Oh, that's what you think. Why, when you're not around, I drink like a fish. I'm a kleptomaniac.
That's a person who steals.
I mean, I'm a hypochondriac.
It's a person who thinks he's sick.
Oh, well, I don't know the technical name for it, but I'm just an old rum pot.
Oh, stop.
It's true, dear. For years I've been in the grip of John Bollyoat. John Bollyweed? Joe Bollyweed.
Don't be ridiculous. You don't know what liquor tastes like.
Honest, this very minute I'm loaded.
Gracie.
Happy New Year!
Look, Gracie.
That's right, Bruce to me. But it won't make a difference.
Oh, would you please stop?
Why don't you see what the back in the boys' room will have?
Okay, that's enough. I know that julep is not for you.
Sweetheart!
Oh, cut it out. You were headed for the den when I first saw you. That julep is for Meredith, isn't it?
Meredith? Oh, yeah. Yes. That's who it's for. I just didn't want you to know what a fiendish plan I'd figured out to get rid of him.
Giving him juleps will get rid of him?
Well, sure, because I make such wonderful ones. He'll want more and more, and pretty soon he'll be in the grip of Joe Barleyos. Joe Barleyhay? Bill Barleyhay.
Sam Newman. What difference does it? It won't get Meredith out of the house.
Well, it might get him lost for a weekend.
Well, go ahead, take him to julep if it'll make you happy. But I've got a plan that'll get him out anyway.
Oh, thanks, dear. Well, Kay, here's your mint julep. Hey!
What?
I say, here's your mint julep. It'll help you sleep.
Yes. When you came in, I was pacing the floor.
Well, drink it down.
Okay, anything to get some sleep. Bottoms up.
Delicious, huh?
Are you sure you know how to make a mint julep?
Well, of course. Sugar and mint leaves and whiskey.
And that's what you put in this one?
Well, we were out of sugar, so I used raspberry jam.
Oh.
And there weren't any mint leaves, so I used parsley.
Oh.
And we don't keep whiskey in the house, but I found some cough syrup that's 80% alcohol. But outside of that, it was just like you make them down south.
Yes, it was in a glass, if that's what you mean.
Would you like another one?
Oh, no. No, thanks. I'm going to have enough trouble explaining this one to my stomach.
Oh, I knew you'd love it. Well, good night, Kay.
I think Meredith is finally asleep, Bill. I can hear him snoring through the den window here.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're ready to give him the works, huh? Now, just what happens when you set off that contraption in his bed?
First of all, the wire under a sheet gives him 110 volts.
Oh, that's wonderful. Sort of a full-length hot foot.
Yeah. Now he grabs the chain on his bedlight, gives it a yank, and a bucket of water falls on his head.
Sensational.
Now a bunch of cowbells and stuff drop on him.
That's terrific.
Now he leaps out of bed, sticks his feet in his bedroom slippers. They're wired.
Oh. You mean?
Another 110 volts.
George, you're a genius.
Now he reaches for the bathrobe, catches his fingers in a mousetrap, and...
But now, wait a minute. If he catches his fingers in a mousetrap, he won't be able to use them.
That's right. You see?
He won't be able to pick up his cup of Maxwell House coffee at breakfast.
That's right. You see?
George, there's a limit of how cruel you can be to a man. Still, that's inhuman to deprive a man of his Maxwell House coffee. Why, Maxwell House is appetizing, rich, full-bodied, and mellow. Coffee at its full-flavored best, good to the last drop. And you want to fix poor Meredith so he can't drink it. Shame on you. You're a fiend.
But you were perfectly willing to electrocute him and fracture a skull with buckets of ice water.
All right, that's good, clean fun. But not to let a man drink Maxwell House coffee. Why, more people buy and enjoy Maxwell House than any other brand of coffee in the world.
Now, Bill...
Don't touch me, you monster. I don't want any more to do with this diabolical scheme. I'm going home.
All right, go home.
Shame on you.
Oh, go home, go home.
You dirty person.
Oh, go.
Out. I don't need him to set this thing off. I'll do it myself. Here goes.
Where's the light?
What happened?
Mrs. Burns, you make the doggonest mint julep I ever got.
Okay, I'm so glad you liked
I
it.
haven't had many a julep in my day, but that's the first one that ever hit me after I was asleep. And I mean, it felt like a jolt of lightning ran up my back. I even heard bells.
Oh, well, that's just part of my southern hospitality, Kay. I'll bet you really felt down south.
You ain't kidding. I felt it clear down around Memphis.
Well, I'll go fetch you another one.
Oh, no. No, please.
Oh, all right. Well, whatever you say. Well, sleep tight.
Thanks. I just did.
You know, Kay, that julep must have been strong. I didn't even taste it, and I heard those bells.
I'll tell you, man, she must have put a uranium in that thing. Why, I'm wringing wet. I'd better put on these bedroom slippers and see.
What happened?
That doggone julep just reached my feet. Hey, wait a minute. These slippers are wired. And there's wires in the bed, too. Somebody's trying to electrocute me. Sammy Kay. I'm getting out of here.
Well, Gracie will be hurt if you turn down her Southern hospitality.
I don't mind Southern hospitality, but I don't want to be Southern fried.
Kay, come back.
No, sir. I'm getting my white meat out of this skillet. Goodbye.
Now, that's funny. I slept in that bed for 4 weeks, and I never noticed those wires.
Well, I finally got rid of Meredith.
You did?
Yeah. Meredith!
Yes, old man?
Gracie, come here.
What is it, dear?
Gracie, if Meredith is still here, who is that guy I saw running out of the house?
Oh, that must have been Kay Kyser.
Kay Kyser?
Yeah, he was sleeping in our den, too.
Meredith Willson and Kay Kyser? Who have you got in the bureau drawers?
Oh, George.
Harry James is probably staying with Meredith, too.
Oh, don't be silly. If you were Harry James, would you?
Sit down, young lady. We're going to have a little talk.
Yes, dear.
Now, none of your tricks. Don't bother to flatter me, cry, or make love to me.
George, you're so incredibly handsome.
Now, don't start that. Oh, come on.
Kiss me, Papa.
Join us again next week when we'll all be back. George Burns, Gracie Allen, Meredith Willson and his orchestra, and yours truly, Bill Goodwin.
Until next Thursday, then, good night and good luck. From the makers of Maxwell House, America's #1 brand of coffee. Always good to the last drop.
Gracie, what am I going to do with you? Every week you disobey me.
Oh, no more, George. I've turned over a new leaf. From now on, I'm your slave. I'm yours to command. I'll obey every one of your wishes.
You mean that?
Just try me.
Okay. No more hats this year.
Try me again.
I thought so. Good night.
Kay Kyser appeared through the courtesy of the Colgate-Palmolive Peach Company.
Oh, goody, goody Jell-O pudding tonight. It tastes like Grandma's only more so.
You ain't kidding, that's right. And just as Jell-O's 6 delicious locked-in flavors can't be beaten, so the proof of Jell-O pudding's in the eating.
The Jell-O twins are hard to find, but keep on looking in your store. When sugar shortages are over, there'll be more.
Just a taste of Jell-O pudding or of Jell-O and you know it's the one and only Jell-O.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
January 24th, 1946, the Maxwell House Coffee Time, George Burns and Gracie Allen. Up next, Claudia.
The Crusade for Freedom is a crusade for your freedom and mine. The truth dollars people send the Crusade for Freedom help preserve our own freedom, even as they get the truth and hope to people behind the Iron Curtain. Truth dollars help finance Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia, the most effective weapons Western democracy has for countering lies and distortion. Send your contribution to The Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster. That's Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster.
We wrap up this Friday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with an episode of Claudia, originally broadcast 76 years ago, January 24th, 1949.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax. And while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Well, now my pipe is lit, the evening paper is put away, dinner isn't ready, so come over here, darling.
To think that I, your only wife, comes after your pipe and after your evening paper.
Ah, but before dinner.
Well, thanks.
Mm-hmm. And you're lucky you're asked to come at all. You know that, don't you?
Nice talk. Come on, make a laugh.
All right, sit down easily now, not all at once.
There.
Oh.
How's that? Is
You're a lot more woman than when I married you. You know that, don't you?
that good?
Not bad.
Oh, home is much nicer when you're home, David.
I should hope so.
You know, winter days are supposed to be short. They certainly seem endless to me.
All right, tell me. Now, what kind of a day did you have?
Usual kind of day.
Did you talk to Mama?
Well, I called. No answer.
No?
I guess she must have been out. So.
Well, how's the baby?
Same big nuisance. But I like him. Cow is fine. Everybody's fine.
Doesn't sound as if very much happened.
Well, I'm not surprised. Nothing happened at all.
Nothing?
Nothing happened at all.
It didn't even rain?
Nope. Couldn't work up the energy. It was dampish and cold, so I didn't even go out.
Well, you're getting a taste of winter on the farm.
Yeah, so I am.
And you don't like it very much,
Oh, I wouldn't put it that strongly, but summer's nicer. Sunshine, birds, flowers. Be able to go out and see things grow. I don't know. Somehow a farm is built more for summer. But I suppose since there has to be winter, there has to be winter, and the best thing to do is just... Well, what do you think's the best thing to do?
Claudia, maybe we ought to close up the house and you come back into town for a few weeks, or a couple of months even. We can stay at Mama's. Do you like that?
David, I don't like being a quitter.
Now, who said you'd be a quitter?
Well, I might be.
Nobody's going to call you a quitter.
Well, it's already towards the end of January. We only have February and March to struggle through. I'll manage, David.
Would you be surprised, Mrs. Naughton, if I told you that I was thinking about a trip today?
David, do you know we're psychic?
Psychic?
I was thinking trips today, too.
Really?
You and I far away.
As a matter of fact, I was so thinking about a trip today that I stopped into a travel bureau.
You did?
There I was walking down the street thinking of you.
Oh, that was sweet.
Thinking of you up here in the country, kind of lonesome up here in the country.
Oh, well, baby keeps me busy.
The weather getting darker and darker, so I stepped into a travel bureau.
Go on.
And I walked up to the little man behind the counter, and I said to him, my wife and I are considering taking a trip.
We are?
And I said, would you tell me the various places that my wife and I could travel to?
Oh, David, you are wonderful.
And he asked how long would we be gone and if I had any specific ideas to where we'd go.
He said no.
No, I said no. Exactly. So he took out a whole sheaf of travel folders.
Oh, I love reading travel folders. Go on.
I brought them home to you.
Oh, David, quick, let me see them. Why did you say so instead of beating around the bush like this?
I've only been home about 10 minutes.
Well, it's 10 minutes of beating too long. Where are they?
Right here in my pocket. Now, just
Gimme. Come on.
Gimme.
Hurry up.
You are a greedy little girl. Now, here. Now, here's the first. The Highlands of Scotland.
What a beautiful picture of a river between hills.
That's the Highlands of Scotland.
Read me something from the folder. Go on, hurry up.
Another unforgettable tour to be made from Stirling.
Sterling Silver?
No, Stirling, Scotland.
Oh, see.
Is by the road that runs westward to Loch Lomond.
Loch Lomond.
Loch Lomond.
Where have I heard that before?
On yon bonny banks and on yon bonny brae.
Oh, David, that was beautiful.
That was a bagpipe.
If you can sing like that in Scottish, we ought to go to Scotland.
Then again, if I can't sing like that in Scottish, we really don't have to go to Scotland at all.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Oh, but look at some of the names of the places. Aren't they lovely? Loch Fyne and Tarbert, Argyll. I wonder, is that where Argyll socks come from?
I wouldn't be surprised.
You know, I started knitting you a pair about a year ago. Wonder what happened to them. It's funny. David, listen to this. 4 miles offshore, towards the Firth of Lorne, lies the rugged Isle of Mull. Oh, Scotland. I had no idea Scotland was so romantic. Oh, well, so much for Scotland. I'll keep it in the back of my head. Where else are we going?
Now, let's see. Would you You like to go to Cuba?
I'd love to go to Cuba. Tell me about Cuba. Cuba. The Havana moon on a warm island with you. Beaches, sunshine, nothing to do. No pots, no pans, no snow, no die-uppers even. David, let's go to Cuba. I'd love to go to Cuba with you.
All right. We can fly there in just a few hours.
Are you serious?
Of course I'm serious. Aren't you?
Well, I guess so. I hadn't really thought we could.
What's to stop us?
We're not just dreaming, David.
I'm not. Are you?
Latin women with dark eyes, dark hair, dark looks.
There is no Latin in you.
You're telling me I couldn't even pass it in school.
You couldn't even pass it in Cuba.
I always think of Latin women being so, well, you know.
I know.
Oh, and those castanet things and lace, you know. I think every woman should have a little Latin in her. David, don't you think I have a little?
Well, maybe when you're a little older, but no.
The way you talk to me. I wouldn't let a strange man talk to me that way.
I should hope not.
What would you do if he did?
I'd knock his block off.
Oh, that's what I hoped you'd do. David, now come on. Now let's be serious. Back to work.
I thought we decided to go to Cuba.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now let's not rush into deciding. What's the matter with China?
Do you really want to go to China?
No, I guess I don't want to go to China.
That's what I thought.
China's on the bottom side of the earth. Seems a little far away. But I will have dinner with you in Chinatown.
Oh, good.
Now, come on, be serious. What other travel photos? Logical ones. Now, no more
ones.
silly.
Well, here's Miami.
No, I want to go out of the country someplace.
Then California.
Nope. It's out of the country, but it's too far away.
Oh, I see. How about Mexico? Where men are men. Caramba!
Listen, dope. Men are men in Eastbrook, Connecticut. Caramba. Don't let any Mexican ever talk you out of that, either.
Well, a recommendation. What about Mexico now?
I wouldn't feel safe in Mexico.
Why not?
Well, don't they have bullfighting all over Mexico?
Oh, I'll protect you. I'll fight the bulls with my red cape. Dora, pumpadoo-dee-dora, dee-dee-dora, dee-doo-dee-doo.
You can't even kill a fly. Don't try to tell me you can kill bulls.
Now, that's my wife for you, always pulling me down. Now, listen, Chiquita. Mexico is a fine place to go. Sunshine, sombreros, the music of guitars.
Stop drooling.
Beneath your window at night, white teeth, dark eyes. Aha.
David, darling, we have lots more folders around. Where are they for?
Well, now, let's see. Here's another one. Oh, here's a good one. The Belgian Congo.
Belgian Congo? Where on earth is the Belgian Congo?
Are you serious?
Of course I'm serious. I'm always serious about remembering where someplace is.
Well, I simply can't believe that you don't know where the Belgian Congo is.
Well, now, how many people go to the Belgian Congo, for heaven's sakes?
Thousands of people, thousands.
People from there never come over here and tell me where they were. So how would I be supposed to know where they'd been, for heaven's sakes?
Well, I can't get over it. My own wife. My own dear wife. Didn't you ever study geography?
Yeah, I studied geography, but I don't know where the Belgian Congo is.
No, you should. Just so happens that it's in Africa.
Oh.
Africa.
Well, that's why I don't know where it is.
What is why you don't know where it is?
Africa. That was the 4th grade. I was sick a lot in the 4th grade.
Oh, I see.
As a matter of fact, I must have missed Africa completely.
Well, Africa missed you, too.
Besides, if it's Belgian, darling, what is it doing in Africa?
Now, that's a very interesting political question.
It is. Oh, please don't answer, please. I don't have time for an answer to interesting political questions.
You know, I don't think that you have any intellectual curiosity at all. None
I have
whatsoever.
plenty of curiosity, so that makes up for it. Oh, golly, there's some fascinating names in the Belgian Congo. Look at here. See this one? Here's a place called Kanda.
Kanda. What are you supposed to make in Kanda?
Boy, and look, there's another one called Kasango.
Kasango. Oh, that looks good.
Here's one called Popkabaka.
Popkabaka. Oh, that's a great one.
Well, there are millions of names like that. Bangadinga. Oh,
Bangadinga, Bangadinga, Bangadinga.
What do you think it'd be like to live in a place called Bangadinga?
Oh, now, can't you just imagine what it would be like? How'd you like to meet somebody from another village, and you walk up to him and you say, "Hello, my friend from Bangadinga.
Hello.
Remember me? I'm from Popkabaka.
How do you do?
How do you do?"
Oh, darling, aren't you glad you're from Eastbrook, Connecticut? How complicated it'd be to come from a place with such a long name.
Ah, the Congo, the lure of the jungle, mumbo jumbo. If we went to the Congo, I'd kill you a tiger or bring you home an alligator.
Well, I'd rather you brought me home an alley catter. Ooh. No, David, I absolutely turn thumbs down to the Belgian Congo. What else have you got there?
Guatemala.
Well, Guatemala with you.
Oh, Claudia. Well, how about Hawaii?
I'm fine. How are you?
Honestly, I don't think you appreciate traveling
Oh,
at all.
I
Hunting
do
like that.
appreciate traveling. I adore traveling. First, you buy a plane ticket at a fabulous price.
Mm-hmm.
You fly halfway across the world. Live out of a suitcase. Move before your shirts come back from the laundry. Never have your dresses pressed. Eat food in hotels all the time. Too much garlic, not enough garlic. Warm climates, cold climates, strange people, strange languages. Being a stranger every place. Oh, yes, I think traveling's lovely.
Yeah, you make it sound just great.
Then, after a long trip, you come home. Drive into your own driveway. You put your car in your own garage. Have a latchkey that fits into your own door. See the baby again. Sit down on your lap in front of a crackling fire. Seems a little silly and extravagant to go on a trip just to come back home, doesn't it?
You really don't want to. We can, you know. Seriously.
David, I thought I did at first, but I really don't want to. I guess I'm tired of traveling.
It's been a pretty inexpensive trip.
Well, it's the only trip I want. Of all the world, I want to live here. Here I am.
Hey, I nearly forgot something.
What, darling?
Lean over, Mrs. Naughton. There's a welcome home kiss waiting for you after your long, long trip.
Some things can add a lot to the joy of daily living. Coke at the movies, for example, is one such thing. It's nice to have Coca-Cola ice cold right in the lobby of a theater so that you can enjoy the pause that refreshes before or after the show. It's one of those extras that provides a gala touch.
Well, Joe, don't you welcome me home?
After your long and arduous journey?
Quite a trip in our fireside chair, wasn't it?
There comes a winter night we all dream of foreign countries and beaches and music and sunshine.
You know, I thought Claudia really wanted to go. I was all ready to pack my bag.
Well, one really never knows with Claudia, does one?
One certainly doesn't.
Well, she'll take a little trip tomorrow.
Oh? Where to?
Just to the city for lunch with you and Roger and Mama.
Oh, the four of us for lunch, hmm?
You aren't very enthusiastic.
Have you ever had lunch with Claudia and Mama in a restaurant?
No, can't say I have.
Well, then you better be around tomorrow, Joe, and eavesdrop. Because those two little girls with the menu, well, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, David. Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now, this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. These broadcasts are adapted for radio by Manya Starr. The entire production is supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
76 years ago, January 24th, 1949, Claudia here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll be back tomorrow with crime from Big Town, suspense, dragnet, and escape. Thanks for being with us here on Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.